Hello, everyone. Today I am going to be making, uh, I'm doing a painting exercise. So I have a ton of different paints, and I'm just going to show them all to you. Just picked them up at Hobby Lobby. I've done this exercise a couple of times before, but it's been a while since I've painted, and so I kind of want to like just play around with these different colors. So what I have is some cool reds, so two different colors of red. So I have magenta and cad red deep. I did a Google search and Google told me that these are cool reds. I will be the judge of that. And then I have cad red medium, which if you look at the camera, it honestly looks a little orange. I'm gonna see if I can get it to lighten up a little. So you can see in the camera that this one looks orange compared to these two. They look definitely more red. So yeah, I'm gonna see if this is in fact a worm. And then I've got cad red, or sorry, cad yellow deep, which has kind of that orangish color to it, and then cad yellow white, which is much lighter, but it looks like it could maybe be mixed with green and get some like lime green. Cerulean blue I've never used before. It's Google told me it was a cool blue, so I'll give it a try. Also, I have phthalo blue, which obviously one of my favorites. I love teal. And then ultramarine blue. I almost exclusively use ultramarine blue to the point where like this tube is probably halfway empty. So halfway through this video, I might actually have to get up and get more of it. I also searched Mars Black because that is the black that I tend to use. However, my Google search, again, no citations. I have no idea where this information is coming from. But Mars Black is considered a cool black, where Ivory Black would be the warm one, and I don't have any of that, so we're gonna go without Ivory. And then I'm obviously going to just be using some generic titanium white. So I honestly don't know where I found this idea. So, I definitely like to cite where I find ideas, but um, I saw this idea. Well, and I've done this before for my stuff too, where I just mix and match different colors. And so that is what I am doing today. So I have a total of three, six, eight colors. And so I'm just gonna essentially divide this up into eight chunks. This is just scratch paper that has stuff on it. So um, I'm only doing this kind of as an exercise and and hoping that it doesn't turn out good. I'm not gonna be too exact with my measurements. I just need some squares. And I'm gonna go eight across with my colors. So it'll be nine squares. And then I'm gonna go down five colors. So I'm gonna have the base color, but then I'm gonna mix it with white and black so that I can see kind of the different scales of colors. So I'll have to do some white, gray, and then black, and just see what kinds of colors and tones and shades and tints that I get. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just kind of playing around. So that'll be one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. That should give me enough to get all my paint colors. And then I'll do nine across on the bottom. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I counted correctly, so that's nice. And then on this side, this I'm not really sure how many colors and that I can fit on here. They don't have to be inch by inch, but that's just an easy way to measure this so it's square. So I can probably get one, two, three, four, five, six, seven different shades or tints. I think I kind of just want to do tints. So let's go with tints. So one, two, three, four, six, seven. So rather than trying to figure that out while I'm on camera, I'll figure that out later. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Now comes the fun part, getting all of these drawn up. I'm very intentionally going way past my line, so that I can see the line. This is just so I can get some color spaces. I'm trying to see how each of the colors kind of look next to each other. And the idea is that I bought, I think pretty sure I bought all of the yellows. I don't normally use those two yellows. I've never tried the cerulean blue, and so I really would like to just see what these look like on paper. And I'm not even bothering to prep this paper. I just want to see what they look like on their own. And then after that, then I will after I see what they look like on their own, then I can start mixing them together. So I might do a second half to this video where I'm just playing with the colors and seeing how they mix. And I saw this exercise done somewhere, I couldn't tell you where, but somebody went through and made one of these grids for each color and then went back and then mixed each color. So I'm calling this Madge. We've got Cad Deep, Cad Medium, Yellow Deep, Yellow Deep. That sounds fun. And then I've got Yellow Light, and then Ceruleum, Ultra, Phthalo, and that's it. Those are my colors. And I was going to have a line there, and I forgot. So then this is where this is true, and then we're going to do about 75% color, about 50%, and this will be my white mixtures, and then about 25%. So then I'll get like a nice pastel, kind of a medium color, just a hint of light, and then the true color. And honestly, I'm probably just going to stick to this little spot here. I'm not going to mess with the black. I just want to see what these colors look like. So I thought I was prepared. I'm going to save this because I probably will be doing this more often. Um, because this is more of an exercise, I'm just going to be using my regular palette or a piece of paper. So I'm going to start with the true color, so magenta. I know that this on the video it looks more red than it really is. It's definitely more of a pinkish purple. It looks like a magenta. So oh my gosh, hopefully I don't get this on my pants. I'm like in my work clothes doing this. Oh well. So I'm gonna do a squirt of all the magenta all the way around because remember I need true and then three shades. I'm just gonna do three of each, and I'm just doing this really fast because for the most part, I really don't want paint all over my desk. I'm kind of a neat painter. Then for my white, um, this paint is more squishy than the other one. So if this is 25%, I want three swishes. So one, two, three, one. So it's 50-50. And then this one is actually going to be, we're going to need three of the reds to balance the white. So one, two. There we go. Those are my three mixes. And I'm I don't know if I do this correctly or not. I honestly am not too picky about my whether I do things correctly or not, but I mix with the back of my thing instead of a palette knife. I've never gotten into palette knives. Um, I just took an oil painting class recently, and it really is convenient to mix with them, but for some reason I just really like. I think this is the chemist in me. I'm used to having stir sticks, so like mixing my chemicals with stir sticks. Now these are not exactly 50-50. So this one, I think there's a little bit more weight than I thought. So this one doesn't look exactly as like 50-50, but it's close. And then here's my 75%, so just a little bit of white. Now, part of the reason I don't like painting like this is because I don't like wasting these colors. So I might start the next painting and start mixing with other colors just because I don't want to waste this pink. And obviously this looks very pink. I'm just going to go right on the canvas, I'm not even gonna, or my paper, I'm not even gonna bother getting the uh, paint wet. This is good thick paint. There's my magenta. It does not give very good coverage. Um, so I'm guessing that's because I didn't prep this paper. I did just get some gesso, but I did not prep this paper. Not interested in the quality of the paint. I'm just interested in the the colors. So you can see that this one particularly, once it mixes with the white, it starts looking more purplish than the the regular stuff. Like it just looks like a red, but the when I start adding the white, this one particularly looks really purple. And so then that tells me that this is a cool red, and that's part of the exercise is just to have those colors. But um, I personally just I'm a very visual learner, so I learn best by just having these colors out there. I think this one could have done a lot more white. Yeah. So those are just different colors of magenta. And um, I'm going to do the same thing with the CAD red deep and just see what colors I get. And this is going to get pretty messy pretty fast because I am painting, mixing. I I can see a lot of messes happening here. So plain and then mostly red, 50-50, mostly white. And I don't know why I need to talk through those, but plain, mostly red, 50-50, it'll catch, mostly white. Two and three. And after we finish this task. And of course I started using that paintbrush, so I have to get a different one. So this is Cad Red Deep. Um, it's definitely warmer than the magenta, but um, I don't know if it's necessarily these two are way too close together, so I actually have to be careful. To me, this is as close to like a true red that I like what I would consider a true red. Um, but maybe I have a affinity for the cool colors because I like teal. All right, I'm gonna try to get as much of this back over here. So it's a nice dark red with just a hint of white. And then go back in and grab my brush and start getting these colors on here. So Cad Red Deep. So much um, darker, definitely more coverage than the magenta. It's not the judge of this painting, but it's noticeably better coverage. And then with just a little bit of white, it's just kind of a honestly, this color looks kind of like mauve. I don't know if any of you were in the 90s, but mauve was a really, really popular color back then. Um, Lots of mauve cabinets and walls in our house when we were kids. So yeah, that's definitely that mauve color. Kind of like this would be a really cool color for like a rose. If I were painting a rose, I'd really like the cad red deep with a little bit of white. So that's a cooler. And this one, I mean, you can really see the difference in those two. It's just a little bit warmer, not a whole lot. So to keep these separate, I kind of want to go over to the phthalo, but I already know I'm going to start mixing up stuff. So um, this is where I put my bitumen. I'll use my marker. That way I don't mix anything up. Magenta and then cad deep. And now we're on a CAD medium. So this is where it's going to get tricky. So there's the plane, strong, 2, 3, 50-50, and light. You'd think I would have learned from the last one to separate these a little, but apparently I don't learn. So I'll do this one, it's the toughest one. 1, 2, 3 drops, single drop in the middle, and a single drop in the top. And this already looks way oranger than either of the other two, so that makes sense that it's definitely a warmer, oranger color. And I'm going to be very curious to see, so like some of the channels that or sites that I stumble upon, they talk about, using the, you know, using the cool colors to make purple. Um, I honestly, I'm pretty sure I actually liked CAD medium to make purple, instead of I mean, magenta obviously makes the best purple, but I think I liked the CAD medium because it's just a little bit more muted. Like the orange and the purple both looked really good with CAD medium when I made my previous video that was similar to this. Yeah, this is like ketchup red. And I've already done, I think all of the reds were already done, but I didn't do the white part. So just a little bit of a different focus than what I did in the How to Find the Perfect Red. And in my perfect red, magenta was the perfect red for purple because it's a cooler color. But then and that's also based on my taste. But the CAD red medium, I just really liked it because it looked, the purple and the orange both looked good with red. So there's my medium. And here's mostly red. Very, very, it's almost like a salmon, this red. Kind of looks kind of like a salmon color. The video does not do a very good job of showing it. And then this is not salmon. This looks more like fleshy. I don't know a better pink name for that. It just looks very fleshy. And then the lightest one is actually very similar, but yeah, this is just a really good way to see how each of them look. The Cataract Deep, you can see like these colors lighten a lot easier. Um, I mean, I think there's every chance that this is going to dry out before I'm done, but I'm gonna keep trying to see if I can get this to last for another demonstration. So I'm gonna grab another plate and we'll do the yellows. Just see what we've got for yellow. So CAD red yellow. So plain, 75, 50-50, and 25. New bottle of paints I always love. They're so clean when they come out of the tube. So 1 dollop, if it will stick, 1 dollop, and 3. And they are not sticking. So completely shifting gears into yellow. So nice, a dark, kind of a mustardy yellow. And then we've got half and half. Brightens it up quite a bit. This is like very much like a sunset yellow. I would definitely use this CAD yellow medium. I'm doing CAD yellow deep. So I would, I've never used this color before, so I would definitely use that for like a sunset or something. That very like medium one. And this very light one almost looks like, with enough white, it would look good for like moonlight. Yeah. painting, night painting. Got a painting coming up that I'm gonna have to make, so maybe I'll be using that cad yellow deep for my painting. Alright, we're already at 25 minutes. This is great. Okay, so just plain yellow, kind of halfway checking out the coverage. It's okay. I would say that the pigment by itself does not give good coverage, so that's good to know. Then here's that mustardy yellow. When I mix it in a pile, it looks more mustardy, but um, you can't really tell on camera and you can't really tell on paper. They don't really look a whole that different from each other. This is where it starts to look noticeably different. But yellow is such a light color to begin with. Um, I saw a really cool video where somebody made it black and white. They turned their camera to black and white, and then you can barely tell. Like yellow just looks like a pale gray. So there's my lightest yellow. I definitely want to keep these. I mean, I'm not gonna forget these. So this is cad yellow. Probably not gonna forget that. It's a very mustardy color. So then next is the cad yellow light. So got oops, one, two, three. There's air in this, so it's making a mess. And my white is messy too. One for the white, one for the white, maybe a little bit bigger than a one. One, two, three. And this looks like, if I mixed this with that cerulean blue, I feel like I would get like just a really beautiful lime green, like neon. This is almost neon. It's so bright. It doesn't mellow, it doesn't mellow out at all. It just stays that really bright color. And I honestly, I can't imagine why I would be painting it with this bright of a yellow. Like most of what I do is landscapes. Um, so yeah, like this color is just so bright. Actually on my little drying rag, I have an old bath towel. I'm gonna just show you this. Um, when I put that bright yellow, that bright yellow next to the magenta, it looks almost Easter eggy. So like I feel like that's the only place I would use this very bright yellow. Um, but I have a birthday card coming up and it's for a person that I know likes that like lime green and purple mix. So maybe that'll be my card to them. Be some bright colors. So yeah, that yellow is very cool. Excuse me, very cool, very bright colored. It doesn't the yellows don't lighten up very well. I'm trying to think of anything that I use with just plain yellow. So I don't use a whole lot, so that's where I think that mixing these with other colors is just going to be a helpful exercise to see what mixes we can get. There's that pale. And that could be a pale moonlight too. I'm gonna leave um, the blues on a separate plate. This is going both faster and slower than I thought. I'm running out of places to mix, so I'm just gonna have to mix off to the side. So hopefully you can see everything okay. So next is cerulean blue. One, one, two, three, one, and one. And then it is one, come on, get out of here. One, one, and one, two, three. I think I used cerulean blue. Now that I see this out, um, I had like this very old acrylic paint set. I think I bought it like on clearance somewhere once, and it sat. I mean, this was I probably bought it before I was actually really seriously into painting, and it was it was clearly paint that was on clearance. It was not very good paint. So this blue, this cerulean blue, I actually really like this. Like again, I do a lot of landscapes. I could see this being a really good painting for like or color for skies. Um, I I think I've either gotten this advice or I saw it on YouTube. Okay, so I'm not sure where the video cut off, but my storage on my laptop got full because I accidentally downloaded a bunch of videos. So I think I was talking about how this would be a really good sky blue. I do a lot of landscapes, something, something, something like that. And yeah, this is also, I guess, if I were, going to a baby shower for a little boy, this is a like very beautiful baby blue. And my poor towel is getting pretty dirty. So cerulean blue, I very much love that color blue. It is just a beautiful color blue. I honestly, my favorite color is blue. Any shade of blue and then into the greens. So, I'm not gonna have any complaints about any one of these colors. So yeah, this looks like, this second blue, it looks like almost like the sky, on a nice hot summer day. You look up and the sky is just unbelievably blue. This third blue kind of reminds me of like forget-me-nots, especially when it's right next to that bright yellow. And then this last blue is definitely that baby blue. I was painting something for maybe a baby shower or something. Right, so next I've got ultramarine blue, or no, phthalo is the next cool blue. Phthalo, I actually don't think I've ever done an exercise on phthalo with white, which is crazy because it is one of my favorite colors. Just need one split. So it should be interesting to see because I've only ever used phthalo as a mixture. I've never actually just painted with it by itself. It's always very intentional to make it into a teal. So I'm mixing it with ultramarine blue and yellow. So I've never actually explored the color by itself. So here we go. Phthalo blue with a little bit of white. It definitely stays blue. So it's definitely still in that blue range, but you can see that it's just has more of that like oceany blue. So it's a cool blue, but it just gives you the oceany vibes. I feel like I mixed these wrong or something. That one doesn't seem very dark. I've heard or read or I don't know or learned that gosh, my stirring stick is just not cleaning up. That phthalo is just a really strong color, so it holds the color really, really well. And this is again still a baby blue, but just a more aggressive baby blue. And my towel is spent, so I'm gonna flip it over so that I don't get dirty and my desk doesn't get dirty. this is a messy way to paint, to do it this way. So phthalo is actually here. I'm going to change that because I want it to look like cool, warm red. So we'll do phthalo as next. And then ultramarine. So very dark, very powerful, very strong color. And then just a hint of white. Still very strong. And this, yeah, this, when I see this color, this phthalo with just a hint of white, I think of like, um, when I'm doing lectures on oceans or something like that, they'll have like a picture of the ocean floor and it's like, and they'll like do a side angle of the ocean of like different layers in the ocean and it's kind of this is a very dark blue color with a hint of white. And my brush is like staining from the phthalo. I use, when I was doing oils, my brush is stained from phthalo. It's definitely one of my favorites. So you can see like this just looks, I don't want to say weak, but it just looks thin and this looks very strong. And also you can see that kind of like the CAD Red Deep, it's a very strong color. Phthalo, very strong color. And some yellow, the CAD yellow deep. It just holds that color. Um, Last is ultramarine. So hopefully, probably can't see a whole lot of much of it on camera, but one, two, three, one, and one, two, three. Shoot, that's not how much I needed. So I'm gonna just scoop a big chunk of this away. We do not need that. And this is where having a palette knife would have probably been helpful because it scoops away a lot nicer with a palette knife. Okay, then I need white, which is a 1. Come on, get off of there, please. A 1. And I just got blue all over the top of my lid. How to fail at painting. That's what I'm teaching. 1, 2, 3. And this blue is going to be wonky because there's too much on here, but that's okay. Let's just roll with it. I know what ultramarine looks like because I've used it so much. So when I mix this in, it definitely, so this has more of a green tone, the phthalo has more of a green tone, and the blue has more of a purple tone to it. When I'm mixing them together, I can tell. And only with that little bit of white. If I wouldn't have mixed them with white, they're too dark to tell just straight from the tube. And then, so I have tended to use more the ultramarine blue to create a sky blue. I really like the cerulean blue better. So I think this exercise is really helpful for me because I'm going to probably use cerulean blue in my skies going forward. It's so much better, so much more realistic. And I don't know what that means, but you know that skies are cooler because it's a cool blue. But now get my blue, ultramarine blue. Super, super bright. And then that's where you can really see that it just looks, it's almost like the next color I show is going to be periwinkle, but it's definitely in that like purple range. So you can tell like when you mix ultramarine with magenta, you're just gonna get that oops, I mixed the wrong one. You're gonna get that really beautiful, like lilac purple. If I were to mix this with that, it'd just give me that kind of that lilac looking purple. And that's good to know for when I'm making a painting of those two colors. Like if I were painting something like hydrangeas, ultramarine blue and magenta would definitely hit those colors. So there we go. Those are my colors. And I'm at half hour, so it needs to be done.